He's for the heroes. This one right here is for the heroes. Okay. Episode 17. Welcome back to Yo Hero, y'all. Appreciate y'all coming by. If you coming in the live chat to kick it with us, or if you coming through and watching it on the replay, we still appreciate you. But I gotta bring in my co-host live from the east side. You know he's from the slap a whole tribe. No lie, we don't die, we multiply. You hoes better recognize. What up, Mac?
What up? What up, everybody?
Chilling, bruh. So last week was your birthday week.
How you doing tonight, sir?
You was in. I'm doing great. You was in here last week, turned up on your birthday. I appreciate you coming through on the show on your birthday.
Oh yeah, no problem. I did it for the cause. You know what I mean? For the cause.
For the culture. That's what you was on last week, for the culture.
For the culture.
Facts.
For the culture.
Yeah. And live from Skunkle, smelling like Funko, not your mother's brother. What's the word? It's Uncle Bird.
Good evening, gentlemen. Let's get started.
Yeah. Let's get this show popping. If you in the live chat, drop a yo. Let us know you're watching.
Please, they're starting.
Okay, Penny first in the chat as always to support us. We appreciate it. Yo. What we gonna talk about? So we got some new Funko announcements for 2025. You know, Funko's always coming with the new comic book superhero stuff, so I always like to check these out. They got some Batman Beyond joints. I'm not too privy to Batman Beyond. I always, because like I said, I'm a big Marvel fan, but I always looked at Batman Beyond as like DC's answer to Marvel 2099.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. I mean, I think Joey was into it, so I remember watching quite a bit of that. You know, that at least in the early stages of it. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it kind of reminded me of like Spider-Man 2099, but the Batman version. So,
Batman as a mentor to the new.
Did you watch Batman Beyond, Mac?
Yeah, I used to watch it.
Where
I used to check it out. It was cool. It was cool.
Was dude's name Bruce Wayne in that?
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
He mentored Terry McGinnis. Yeah, he mentored Terry McGinnis. He was still kind of partially Batman, where he'd have like the totally like he has here like an armored up suit and stuff like that. But like the new tech was all Terry and stuff. And then even his little brother, I think, became Robin.
Word. Okay. G in the chat. Hey, what's up, G? G always supporting us too, coming by to say what's up. Yeah. And then this is a little closer look at some of those Batman Beyond figures. Or no, these are other Batman announcements from Funko. And I'm not sure what these are, different armored versions of Batman.
Yeah, is that one like supposed to be like a Azazel? Or?
Azazel, yeah, might be.
I don't know if that's him because it looks like a little bit more like his with the gold pieces and stuff. And it looks like an armored up one.
And you got your Peacemaker joint.
with the Hawk. That is crazy.
Oh, you got the bald eagle, bro.
Yeah. The bald eagle.
Oh yeah, what do you call him?
I still gotta watch that.
The game though, they like Falcon.
One of these days.
Same here.
Season two. When season 2 comes out, I have to watch more than 2.
Yeah, that's a good call. I'll probably do the same thing too, so I can get caught up before we'll probably review that. Yeah, I don't know who this little ninja dude is. He look kind of cool though.
He's a character. He gets introduced in season 1.
Where he got a name? or young?
Joey knows him. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but
It's
he's
yeah, it's
definitely
it's goofy. I'm sure. I mean, not like goofy, but it's just like I don't know, just a little off.
You got an Onslaught figure. I wonder if we'll ever see this on screen.
You never know if we get that far into it.
Did they do Onslaught in the animated series? I don't think they did.
No, I don't believe so.
I could see them doing something like that, or a what if, where they did Onslaught.
Definitely.
Professor X and Magneto combined.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, he was the villain in one of the Marvel vs. Capcom games too, right?
Yeah. We definitely that's where I remember him from.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which one it was. It might have been Marvel vs. Capcom, the first one. Because I know,
I don't recall.
I think Apocalypse was the villain in X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Yeah, he was difficult to beat.
Yeah.
And then you got your Gambit and Dazzler. And one's just looks like one he's X-Men 97 base, and the other one just say X-Men. So I don't know if that's a comic logo. You see them X-Men logos a little different.
Yeah. Old school X-Men, who knows?
Remember there was all them rumors that Taylor Swift was gonna be Dazzler and Deadpool?
No.
Or Deadpool and Wolverine.
I didn't hear those, but
oh yeah, there was endless YouTube videos on it.
I would have been very upset.
Because they said Ryan Reynolds' wife is good friends with her.
Yeah.
And that she had been down to the set or something. She was spotted on the set. And yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like, who else is going to play Dazzler? Like, I wouldn't have been opposed to it in a Deadpool movie.
No.
It would have kind of like been her making fun of herself in a little way. It kind of might have made me like her more. But yeah.
That's what it is.
But that never happened. I was kind of surprised. I was like, wow, that's the one character I could see her getting away with, me being like, okay, in a Deadpool movie, okay, I get it. And it would have brought a lot of the, Swifties out.
Probably. Not even had too much, for the character that is,
They might still do it though. Eventually, we'll see. Then you got your Spider-Man, and the guy Mac just can't stand his name and won't tell me why.
Herbie.
He tell me, I'm gonna tell you after the show.
Herbie. I'll be forgetting you. Herbie. I'll tell you tonight. So I'll tell you.
I've heard that.
Herbie. But I forget.
I know that's a problem. That short-term memory.
That's long-term memory.
It's going.
Yeah, Herbie Funko, Spider-Man Funko, Dazzler, Gambit. They got all kinds of Funkos. All right.
Scotty Boy.
Yeah. Well, I thought this was kind of cool because he wasn't in the Gamerverse collection.
Yeah.
That we showed off the Marvel Legends Gamerverse collection. We just did a whole show about.
Yep.
Cyclops wasn't in that. So when I seen this, I was like, okay, cool. Somebody didn't forget my boy, because this is from
why did they say why so zesty? Why so zesty, Scott?
Maybe that's why.
That's okay.
Cyclops,
that is zesty right there. That's zesty, my boy.
Yeah, that pose is crazy. Yeah, he got to take that. He got
that is like you got to take that L right there for that. I don't know why who would pose him like that, but that's you got to take that L for that.
Yeah, he needs to take that pose out the playbook entirely.
Yeah,
Get rid of that. You know, this is cool. That's his little uppercut, optic blast. You know, he's raging a little bit there. But that one right there on the left, that is crazy work.
That is.
That's kind of what he looked like when he fucking shot him.
Booty shot. And he says booty shot. It's crazy.
Yeah, he gave you a booty shot every time he did the little optic blast shooting at you and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then you got this. I don't know what's going on with this.
Whoa, bro. Whoa. Like
Glizzy Cyclops cosplay is out of control right now on the internet, and I just want to let y'all know it's a technical foul over here.
Yeah, that's
you definitely.
Yeah, he went too far.
Never put a glizzy on your face, son. Ever.
On your eyes too, like that. Like,
come on now.
Yeah, that's going too far. Yeah, that's definitely cosplay is out of control. That's technical violence for sure, bruh. That is and whatever. No, come on. Oh man, y'all, they are tripping, bruh.
That's the thing about the internet. Like, some days I just wish we could just unplug.
That is definitely an unplugged moment. This dude actually took the time to paint himself blue, waste that good bread, and fucking put a glizzy.
That's good bread.
Put a glizzy in it. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
And then a glob of ketchup on it and turned his head real quick so he could get that optic blast moment.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, we got to do better, y'all.
As
a civilization, we got to do better.
A little bit more creative.
Yeah.
Hot dog bones necklace. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Benny, he was tripping.
Yeah, this isn't right. That's all I'm trying to say. And we can do better.
This is like double, triple technical files. So this is crazy.
Yeah. I don't want anyone to think this kind of stuff is appropriate. Do not show up at a Comic-Con with a glizzy on your eyebrow talking about you Cyclops. You're not Scott Summers, son.
Yeah, that's
the disrespect too. The disrespect to see that pose earlier with Cyclops. That
and then he didn't even shave his mustache.
And then
so you got like hairy his hair under there, under the glizzy.
And the way he's looking up at the glizzy is wow.
Well, you could tell in the top left he was really excited about putting that glizzy in that bun. He was real excited about it. Look how he's smiling.
Like, the other picture, he's like trying to see if it's as big as his whole brow line, and that's just not right. There's no reason to have no. This is a no glizzy zone over here, so we're not gonna condone this kind of activity. Just so y'all know,
behavior.
Yeah,
we are not with it.
Yeah, we just want to. No, we don't. And we're here to expose these people that do this type of ridiculousness.
He said this type of it is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Yeah. I was definitely not prepared to see this tonight. I'll tell you that.
Nobody was. And that's the problem. See, I like superhero content, so I'll be scrolling online and I see this kind of shit. I'm like, oh God.
We didn't
that is see it. Crazy. Yeah. have kept that out of my. Oh, look, he's on the moon hugging his doggy.
Yeah, his boy Crypto. I think a lot of kids are gonna leave this movie being Crypto fans.
Oh yeah,
he already won me over, and I like Cosmo from Guardians of the Galaxy, so I'm kind of partial to Cosmo, but Crypto, the more I see of Crypto, the more I like Crypto. All right, and then we got some more images. Superman looks like it looks like when he uses his X-ray vision, it burns his eyes around his eyes a little bit. Because those aren't black eyes. That's like sunburn almost, you know?
Yeah.
And then you got just more pictures from all the latest trailers. Basically ramping up the last promo before this hits theaters.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it.
Yes, sir.
Like I was telling Bird, a lot of this architecture you're going to see, you might recognize because a lot of this was filmed in Cleveland. So I think that's the inside of Tower City there.
I was just about to say that's got to be Tower City right there.
Yeah, so for me it's iconic, you know, like I'm more excited about the movie just knowing like you get all these Cleveland backdrop visuals as Metropolis. And now that it's canon to the new DC universe, every time they show Metropolis, they got to show Cleveland, which is pretty dope. Being that Superman was created in Cleveland. And I
did not. Well, I knew that part, but I did not know Superman was created in Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
that is something I learned today.
Yeah, that was a big reason why they wanted to film there. Plus, it's cheap, but you know that's why Captain America: Winter Soldier filmed Cleveland.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I think some of the Avengers did too. The first Avengers. And then this is like one of the final posters. I kind of like this poster. It reminds me of like them VHS covers from back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that bifold to them or building. I like the look of it. Good layout.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like the Daily Planet, the top of that he's holding up or something. I don't know.
We did see that one big building in the trailer fall or whatever, so I don't know what that was supposed to represent at the time. But it was like toppling over towards the bridges and stuff.
I told Bird Mac I'm the farthest thing from a DC fanboy, but the more I see of this movie, I think it looks great, bro. I really think it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Mac don't like Superman.
I'm a fan of Superman. I don't watch all of this.
Well, you don't like this Superman.
Yeah, he don't like this David guy. He likes
Superman.
this.
I don't know.
He says so far from what he's seen. Yeah, he so far he's more of a Henry Cavill kind of guy, but we'll see.
Like I was telling half a dozen there too. I was telling them, Guy Gardner spot on.
Guy Gardner is spot on. Yeah,
he's right there. And I mean, seeing it was like, oh, that's who they picked.
Yeah, it was just like out of all people they could have picked. Like I said, I'll wait till I actually watch the movie. I'm gonna give him his fair chance.
I think James Gunn is just not afraid to lean into like the corniness of comic books and make it cool.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. So he's like, Guy Gardner, he's corny. Fuck it, I want to use that. You know.
Well, it's almost like mixing some of those like 60 goofy Batmans and then actually having some real hardcore action in it and stuff like that in an actual story. where you got one or two characters that are just slightly off.
Yeah. Well, if you seen, remember they were in the because they're the Justice Gang. They're calling them literally in the movie. They call them the Justice Gang, and when they were in that Peacemaker trailer, like they were cussing and shit. So this is a whole different take on this DC universe. So I think it's gonna turn out pretty good.
I hope. I mean, you know, anything that you really got into, growing up to at some point. I think it was popular at the time when Superman died. That I actually paid attention because it was just like OP most of the stories and stuff.
Yeah. He's like Sentry in the sense where it's like
special circumstances he can lose.
They make him so overpowered. It's hard to do good stories about him or keep him in a world filled with heroes when you could go, well, why isn't Superman here stopping us? All the time. The audience is always wondering how come Superman's not flying there in a half a second to help. But I think that's part of his character's struggles is that he can't be everywhere at once.
He's faster than the speeding bullet.
Yeah, but say he's helping somebody. He can't, just like the Flash, you could save somebody, but you don't want to break their neck in the process of saving them super quick. So you got to slow down to catch them and then set them down gently and then fly to the next person you got to save. So he does, even though he could speed up, he's still, to save people the proper way, he's got to, do certain stuff, at human speed. This is that character they're calling the engineer. This girl here, cutting off the heads of the robots.
Slicing and dicing them. Looks like her hands transform from the trailer or whatever into those blades. So she probably do multiple weapons, different kinds of things. Almost like a Hela.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's technology based. Who knows? It looks like Lex Luthor's walking in behind her there.
Yeah.
Into the Fortress of Solitude. And then you got the first shot of Kryptonite being pressed against Superman's fucking temple. And
really get the tumor from this?
Is this where we get Tumor Man? Mac, is this where Tumor Man's origin starts right here? That toy we showed off, Tumor Man, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Tumor Superman.
Nah, but I think this is Metamorpho's hand, actually.
Yeah.
Because he can change to any element, so I think Luthor's got him for that particular reason.
It almost looks like that glass room that you see him punching out of in the trailer too.
Yes,
it might be in the Fortress of Solitude.
The little cell he's in. So let's talk about this. This is concept art, unused concept art of your boy Danny Glover from Predator Killer of Killers. So this basically lets you know that they were considering bringing back his character, Lieutenant Mike Harrigan from Predator 2. It was in the concept stages, at least at one point.
I can see him tying something to some of the older stories a little bit. I could see him doing that, just to bring the whole universe together.
Yeah, well, we literally talked about this.
Yeah, I was about to say we did talk about that, like them bringing like Arnold and Jesse and Carl Weathers. They could have actually threw them in like one of those mini movies in one of these. That's what I'll say. They should make another one and pay homage to like all the older characters.
Well, I think that's literally why they showed them pods, is so that door's kind of there, and they could always.
We're the best hunters, but these are the ones that got us.
I'm sorry, you had a motorcycle that was.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
No, I mean, but that's what it seems like. They were collecting the best of the best, just because they're hard to kill. They're supposed to be the apex predator around, and these mere mortals, whatever, subspecies to them, still can outsmart them and work them and shit.
Yeah, and I think they're doing something with that. There's a reason they're keeping these people as trophies that have killed predators. Whether it be some genetic coding they're taking from them or whatever the case, or maybe even for just like a ultimate hunt later on down the road where they can, free 10 of these people in the wild and hunt them all, killers or predators. But I just, I love the fact that we speculated on this. We talked about it on our show, and then literally weeks later, this concept art comes out and proves, we're on the right track with some of our speculation.
True.
Danny Glover, bro. Like, this is a character I would love to see come back, Mike Harrigan. Because I think Predator 2 is underrated, out the franchise.
It's definitely underrated.
Yeah, I always loved it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely better than some of the newer ones we've seen before.
Yeah, it's better than like that The Predator movie that Shane Black made. That one was terrible. But I don't know. It's something about Predator 2, like, even as a kid, it appealed to me more than the first Predator, believe it or not. Because
probably.
It was funny though, like him chasing that predator through the city. Like he was actually in the city, going through people's like apartments, chasing. They was fighting like that. It was just different for the time.
Yeah. Well, when by the time I got hip to Predator as a kid, like they were both already on home video.
Right.
So I think my uncle had a gang of movies, and I would just like every now and then watch movies, and I think I watched Predator 2 before Predator 1, and I was like, damn, this creature is badass, and then went back and watched Predator 1, and I was like, this is cool, on some like Vietnam kind of shit, whatever, some war in the jungle shit. But I don't know, something about that Predator and that city landscape, fucking with the Rastafarians and all that difference. Gary Busey, wasn't that Gary Busey in that movie?
Yeah, that was definitely Gary Busey. Right. And how the Predator you know what he was on back at that time. He was on pure trash. And but and how the Predator had his ship. We always would watch the movie over and see it before the first. Still the best. I agree with that, G. But yeah, how he had hidden his ship in plain sight in the city though, but like it was hidden, but not in plain sight, but it was still in plain sight. That was dope too. Like there was so much about that movie I remember. Like
all the predators at the end, like you see more than one predator, so that was a big deal.
And he tossed him that pistol, that vintage pistol that we've been seeing throughout these Predator movies still, and like series and shit. We've still been seeing that same gun, like the 1918 whatever, 1890s.
So black powder gun.
Yeah. And not just that, they had the alien skull in the ship, and that's what started the whole Alien versus Predator shit. So
I remember I was freaked out when I seen it. I was like, man, these motherfuckers have fought the aliens and won.
Right.
Sometimes
I was freaked out by that.
Sometimes, right? Yeah.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure the Predators done took L's in that battle, but
yeah, but
I'm just saying, just the fact that matters.
They don't have anything where it shows they actually hunting groups, so it's usually one versus whatever's out there, whatever they can kill. So you never, except in that one planet.
They were in groups in Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, I guess there were a few of them. Is that the one with the under the ice or whatever?
But as my son says, that is not part of the actual canon. That is, supposedly that's just like a spin-off movie. It don't directly tie in, but I think it works. He calls it headcanon. Like in your head, you can make it make sense, but if you add the timelines up, he says it don't make sense. So
well, your son's like a genius. So in his mind, it just don't make sense.
Don't gas him up like that. He's not no genius.
No, I'm just saying.
He's very bright.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll roll with that. Dang, you're very bright. Your dad don't want me calling you a genius.
Nope. keep him a little less intelligent than his daddy.
Mm. Oh, so that's what it's about.
Yeah. I taught him everything he knew, and I know more.
Oh, that is hilarious.
So this is the latest rumor. Now, come on, y'all. We've done 2 shows about this movie already, speculation shows. One with Boomerang, Scorpion. Who was the other villain they said was going to be in the movie?
There wasn't anybody like.
We just did a show on it.
Yeah, I know, but I can't remember. I know it was somebody that was like really just one of those low key ones, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember though. It's gonna drive me crazy till I remember. Oh, Tombstone.
Oh.
So yeah. Scorpion, Tombstone, and Boomerang were supposed to be in this. First, Mr. Negative was supposed to be in it. Then Scorpion, Tombstone, Boomerang. Then they said the Hulk was going to be in this Spider-Man number 4. And now the Hollywood Reporter, which is a real legitimate kind of publisher, they usually only report on facts, say John Bernthal is coming to Spider-Man 4 as the Punisher. He's coming to reprise his role
this summer and has a July 31st, 2026 release.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know, what do y'all think of that?
That would be crazy. Bro.
His first appearance was in a Spider-Man comic.
Because his brand of justice is way different from Spidey's.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how that would and they would have to make him. They would have to make him seem like based off his character that he was in the Daredevil series, like how he was. Like they can't be tapering him off. Like he can't go from how he was in Daredevil to, because he in the Spider-Man movie, y'all like taper his character down. Like that would be corny. I would be very disappointed if they did that. So,
yeah, you want him to stay as violent as he was in the Daredevil series.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, and now here's the other thing: is the Hulk still in this movie? Is the Hulk the villain, and Punisher and Spider-Man are caught up trying to get him to stop destroying New York or something?
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, they could do a few different storylines with that.
Or with Tombstone, is he helping Spider-Man take down Tombstone, or is Spider-Man trying to stop Frank from killing these guys?
No. I mean, it's supposed to be after the Kingpin thing, right? So
yeah, well, I would imagine, yeah.
Maybe everybody's fighting for Kingpin's territory and stuff. And, I don't see him really teaming up so much.
Well, he don't really like
Spider-Man,
anyway.
Being okay with that.
Except Matt. He don't mind fucking people up with Matt for some reason, I think.
Well, would be a good, cameo, and it depends on, is he actually going to be like a main player in it too?
Right, or is he just a quick cameo?
Are they going to show him for 2 minutes and that's it? We don't even get to see him shoot nobody or kill nobody or nothing.
Well, you got to think too, this is a Sony movie that's distributed by Marvel. Yeah. So technically they could go as violent as they want. Yeah. And not tarnish the Disney brand whatsoever. But how far does Sony want to You know, how violent do they want to get in a Spider-Man movie? So it's interesting to say the least. Like, it's not something I think any one of us had on our bingo cards, so to speak.
Oh, definitely didn't have that.
Well, we were wondering though. I mean, if there are ever going to be any of the street level guys that Spider-Man's usually more in tune with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other guys that are just based in New York, they were just even going to be able to be seen, or, you know, because he kind of was mentioned,
like Daredevil, maybe. That's street level. No, I'm just saying. Like, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke Cage, just even,
Luke Cage,
cameo
Iron
watching
Fist,
TV, like
Elektra.
This makes me feel like Daredevil might be in this movie and it just hasn't leaked yet, the info, because if they're going to put Punisher in it, why would you not put Daredevil in it?
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
But then there's also that info that's out there that Sony, they get to use a Marvel character in all their movies. So is this Marvel's way around it by going, here you can have Bernthal, right. But I don't know. It's just weird to me, the Hulk speculation to the Tombstone Scorpion stuff to Punisher, all the stuff that happened with Kingpin and Born Again. And then you got Doomsday and Secret Wars, right? This was supposed to drop between Doomsday and Secret Wars. Now it's coming out before Doomsday. So I'm just really like, I have no idea what the fuck this movie is, Punisher's first appearance was in a Spider-Man book, so there's precedence for that kind of crossover, but we're past Frank's first appearance, so I'm just wondering, what are they thinking? Like, why do they need to use this violent character in a Spider-Man movie? There's got to be a reason. So maybe he's really dealing with some street level guys like Kingpin, Tombstone, people that are killers. Where
he's got his way is not going to work that good. If he gets caught up in something.
I could definitely see Spider-Man having to kind of try to stop Frank from killing some of these street level villains, and getting in the crosshairs like this along the way, where he puts himself in the line of fire by trying to play the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in a city that's corrupt, and Frank knows it,
Definitely interesting to see if they spice that up pretty good or not. How they're going to do it.
So we got a new Fantastic Four trailer. And if you see, my homie, the Thing got a beard. He got a beard, y'all.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering what was going on with his chin.
I know you can see in the comics on the far right, he's had beards before.
He looked like Moses in that far right to me.
Well, let's check it out.
Mr. Fantastic. Invisible Woman. Human Torch.
I love you, Johnny.
And the Thing.
Hey, what time is it? Say the thing.
That's not really something I say.
It's clobbering time.
That's just in the cartoon. Never late for Sunday dinner. Let's eat.
Hey, what time is it?
It's dinner time. Get inside.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.
What is that? Get us out of here, Ben! Hold on!
Are we safe?
I don't know.
The clock is ticking. We are going to find a solution. We are going to make 4 of us will face the danger. We will protect you.
Oh, that's crazy.
Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself. We'll face it together. As a family.
What time has it been?
No.
What time has it been?
No, Johnny.
Say it!
I don't wanna!
Say it!
Woo! Boy, I'm gonna be honest. I think that looks great.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I am so excited for that movie, and I'm excited to see the new Superman. But that Fantastic Four looks incredible. My God. So yeah, back to this. Yeah, you got a bearded Ben Grimm now.
That's funny.
Bearded Ben Grimm.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, if there's a time lapse in this movie. You know what I mean? Because you don't see him like that.
Yeah, through the whole movie.
Right. Or is that an end credit scene? You know, is that a scene from Doomsday? Who knows? You know what I mean?
We'll see it.
And that could be an end credit scene from Doomsday or something, and they're just masquerading in it as it's part of this movie.
Could be.
And then we got a closer look at that $80 popcorn bucket. I think, bro, that's the size of a human head, bro. Pause.
Why did they have that dude? Why did they pick that dude to hold it though? To show us, like, that was crazy.
I don't know that there was much thought process in what employee that makes the popcorn is the best guy.
That looks like security holding up that. Like this cranium.
I still don't think it looks like it's worth $80. I could have seen maybe 50. You know, maybe
would have been reasonable.
Right. You know, 50 is probably they say it's the biggest popcorn bucket they ever, like, specialty one they ever made. You know, it lights up. It looks like Galactus. The thing is, you know, big. Pause. But yeah, I don't know. What's going on? What's going on with Uncle Bird? What happened to this guy?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
There he is. There he is. Because I definitely want you back for this part of the show.
Oh,
did y'all catch the red band trailer for Toxic Avenger?
No, I
did not.
The red band trailer. So that's the R-rated joint.
No.
Sure.
Wait! Stop! We'll get to all of that. Just relax, okay?
We'd lost Shelly a year ago. These days, it's just me and the kid.
Looks great.
I'll just scrape off the black part. That part's pretty good.
No, give him back.
I don't want to hurt him.
Why didn't you do anything?
Sometimes it's better to do nothing.
It's going good.
Oh, what the
You're
fuck?
saying that this corporation would knowingly poison its own customers just to boost their own profit margins? Summon the nuts.
Okay, summoning the nuts.
I didn't want any of this. I'm a monster.
You're not a monster. Show him your good heart.
Hey, buddy, I'm your dad. I wasn't even involved. But sometimes you something.
Oh shit!
Who are you? Just some dude with a mouth.
Oh shit!
How does it feel
Oh
to be
my
a hero?
Do you realize what's at stake here?
Everything!
Find him, bring him here.
There you are.
That was just self-defense. You haven't killed anyone else, have you?
See, when you say self-defense,
He's an ugly son of a bitch, though.
Bruh.
The Toxic Avenger.
That's what the kids are calling him. I think it's swell.
Show the fuck up.
Yeah.
That is dope, bro.
I hope they do some homage to some of the old kills that they had in that.
Hey, I don't give a fuck if they don't. Those kills is good enough for me. That is crazy, bro.
He ripped dude's arm off and hit him with it. I was like, oh shit.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is
It's
gonna be a
good
crazy
practicals back in the day.
If you're gonna do a reboot, this is, in my opinion, how you do it. You know what I mean? It's paying homage to the new. It looks like a modern take on it a little bit, but it's still paying homage to the original.
Yeah.
There's a lot of differences.
Definitely on my list. Definitely on my list. I've always liked the Toxic films.
Oh, you said we're going to see it. You didn't give me an option, so we got to go see it. We got to show the fuck up, like it says in the flyer. Because they don't make shit like this all the time, bro. Especially shit, that was...
that B movie.
Yeah.
70s had their Barbarella and stuff like that, We had Toxic Avenger and
Yeah, Swamp Thing. Like I remember watching that shit, bro, growing up. So like, yeah.
Oh, that shit traumatized me as a kid, bro. Bird playing this movie and this poor little kid's riding a bike and then they run over him and then they're like, yeah, more points, back over him, and they back over his head and they run back over him and they show the shit on the practical effects on the screen, the kid's head just getting smashed. I had nightmares of that shit as a kid, bro.
I was a great uncle.
But but then I grew up and I was like, yo, what is that crazy movie I remember as a kid he was like a fucked up superhero. And then I remembered Toxic Avenger, and I went back and bought all the old movies. I just had to have them in my collection, I still haven't watched like the sequels. There's like 4 of them. I never even watched them.
Yeah, because they're like Citizen Toxie 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
And the first 2 I think are all right. Yeah, they just get out there more as it goes on.
Well, that and the practical effects almost got worse.
Yeah. Well, I think, maybe shooting with higher definition film too, where you catch a lot of that stuff a little bit more.
True, but sometimes when they do like these 4K remasters, they don't fuck with a lot of the practical effects, like from Aliens. They look better in Aliens than they do in some of the modern movies, So it just goes to speak on like how dope practical effects were when we were coming up. The Predator, Aliens, even Jim Henson shit, Jim Henson was a beast. Excuse me, but let's move on to our main subject of the night. IronHeart episodes 1 through 3 review. And I think we're gonna do this a little different than we did at Daredevil. I don't think we necessarily need to break the show down chronologically. I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on it, Bird's opinion on it.
It's pretty interesting so far. I don't know why they gave us 3 episodes like back to back to back like that, but I'm cool with it, but yeah.
I'll be honest. I think Disney Plus has been experimenting with different models on releasing their content all this time because they can't seem to hit the numbers Netflix hits, or Hulu even. So I think they're just unsure how to deliver this kind of content to fans, whether it should be in chunks so you could binge watch or weekly or
Because I think this is only getting like 9 shows, didn't you say?
I
Like
think it's on
9 episodes. So they done gave us 3 already. Like that's crazy.
Well, that and also I think when they have less faith in the series, I think when they're not sure if it's a surefire hit with fans, they tend to just like rush out the first set of episodes so we can get through that to get to the better stuff. Because I think they did that even on Daredevil Born Again, where they were like, you know what, the weaker stuff's at the beginning. Let's just get that out the way so we get fans talking about Muse and Daredevil and Bullseye again, Punisher.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't bad. I mean, it's not that badly written. It's got its moments. I don't know enough about the character to say how well it correlates with anything, but it could be worse. It's not their worst show, I don't think.
I mean, so we kind of catch up with Riri since the events of Wakanda Forever, right? And you see her life's kind of
spiraling.
I wouldn't say spiraling so much. Well, it starts to, but I would say she's kind of like in a hard. She's caught between a rock and a hard place, like where she can't, she can't seem to generate the funds she needs to fulfill her dreams, right?
Yeah.
And then she gets kicked out of MIT for doing other people's work. And yeah, she ends up on the streets, walking back home.
Crash lands.
Yeah, crash lands. Yeah. The whole neighborhood sees her crash.
Gets walked over.
And she didn't steal because that was technically her suit. She just took it with her when they expelled her from college.
Yeah, she spent her grant money on it, pretty much.
Wasn't her AI though.
That is true.
It wasn't her AI. Whose AI was it? I mean, I must have missed it.
It was MIT's. That's why when they kicked her out of school, it disengaged and she crashed.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that. Oh yeah, when that pencil was talking to her, that's what you mean. That was her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was the MIT AI she was using. And when she wasn't a student no more, that's when she crashed. And then met this kid who taxed her to carry her suit home. $20, huh?
Oh.
Start wagging.
And then this dude, I see. I was trying to keep up with the story the best I could. Like that's the thing I'm gonna say about a lot of these new heroes is like for me, it's a little harder to. Well, I'll get into. I want to say to care for them, but there's multiple layers to that. But like, so once we're introduced to these new characters, to humanize them, you got to build a whole family around them and all these characters. Where I'm going, well, who is he? Who is he? Like, I know he knows Natalie, but who is he to her?
This is her brother. He's Natalie's brother.
Okay, that's Natalie's brother. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I missed that at some point in time, and then I spent the rest of the show trying to figure out if that was Natalie's brother or whatever.
That's Natalie's brother.
Oh my goodness! Check it out, Penny dropping 5 half a dozen memberships. Pick them up while they high. 5 of them. Appreciate you, much love.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was unsure if that was Natalie's brother or not. It kind of seemed like but I don't think they explicitly said it, but it kind of was implied.
No, they do actually mention it during during the show, but that's how I figured out. Like, 'cause at first I'm like, who is? But he likes Riri.
Yeah, you could tell for sure. He got the feels for Riri Williams, but Yeah, I was just like, I remember him saying like he wanted to hear her voice and all these things, but I just missed the part where he said that was his sister. So appreciate the 5 memberships you gifted. Much love. And then we finally meet the hood. And this kind of, this was like we were both kind of right about this bird. I said he had a bunch of markings on his back like he was getting cursed from whoever he got the magic from in the trailers. And you were like, I think they're tattoos. Or I thought they were tattoos. We were both right. Because he's getting some kind of weird markings almost or scar from whatever deal he did with whoever to get that hood. But he's having his boy tattoo over him to kind of hide him.
So obviously, I mean, if it is Mephisto, he's kind of a fire type, devil type guy. So, and they said, that hood gets him, it gets hot. So,
yeah, it's like burnt. Yeah, maybe it is causing like weird burns. But
maybe in the shape of them symbols, kind of.
But those goddamn veins running down his fucking body, that's giving him some type of.
I think
weird
that's
goddamn.
his skin splitting open.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, bro.
If you look at some of the ones coming down, it looks like
that is some dark black magic shit for your ass right there, buddy.
Yeah, it does look like his skin's tearing apart. If you look, you can see
cracked or whatever.
Yeah, it does. It looks like there's like flesh under there. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, you can't tat over that, bro. It's just gonna crack more. Like it's crazy. So yeah, this dude. Now, are y'all starting to believe this Mephisto stuff now?
Well, he's got some magical tie-in for sure.
Yeah.
He said in this episode, he said because of what he did to me.
Yeah, that's what he said. That is what he said. Those words.
He didn't say who he is, but he said he did something to him, and that's why he's got this. That's why he thinks his buddy died.
But fucking this character, that was crazy. Like I was pretty shocked that they took it all the way back to Iron Man 1 on that ass though during this though. That was
you got them singing some Alanis Morissette in the car. So she finds a black market dealer to get some parts she needs for her suit, basically, to kind of go up against the Hood's team or whatever.
I think it was just to do the first job, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
She just need to get it fixed.
Okay, right. She needed to get her suit functional for the first job. So she finds this black market dealer who's got what she need. And then she kind of like slowly wins him over, And he's a little he's a little weirdo, bro. Like her mom knew he was a little weirdo when she was like, "Whoa, how do you know this guy?"
She said because of the khakis. Because he was like, "Your mom thinks I'm weird." Yeah, because of your khakis, motherfucker.
But like you said, this goes back to Iron Man 1 because we find out he is Obadiah Stane's son.
Yeah, which blew me away, bro.
How do we find that info out, Mac?
He told her after she knocked over his Obadiah's ashes in the kitchen, which was crazy.
And he didn't have those ashes in the urn.
No, he had them in a baggie. He had them in like. Oh, the Ziploc baggie was worse than that baggie, but that is hilarious. Obadiah, your son has you in a bag on a counter in the kitchen.
He looks so. That's him in heaven looking down. Like, are you serious, son? Is how you gonna do me?
Crazy, though. But it was crazy, like Dust Buster moment. Yeah, it was a Dust Buster moment, Pity. But it was just so crazy how they went all the way back to made you think back to the Iron Man 1 fucking movie, which was crazy.
Right. Because I remember hearing a rumor that we talked about it too, that he was Obadiah Stane's son. And then I completely forgot when the series came out, and I'm watching it, and what was she calling him? Joe or something?
Yeah, Joe. That's what she
Yeah. So I completely forgot that he was Ezekiel Stane. And then the ashes dump out. they're in a big Ziploc bag, and I'm like, oh my God. She's like, why do you got these in a Ziploc bag? He's like, we weren't that close.
Yeah, it was definitely funny moments throughout these episodes. Real fucking like comedic moments.
It was
That part you had to be paying attention to really catch all of them.
That part in particular had me dying. Just
yeah.
That's why I made this. Crazy. I made this slide up just for this.
I think that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a highlight moment of the episode for me. Dustbuster moment, Penny K. That was a good one. Yeah, definitely. So then we also see she's got these like I don't know, brainwave monitors on her head, passes out when she's doing an update on her suit or something like that, and
charging it and update. She was charging it and update.
Yeah, and in the process has a dream about her friend and creates this artificial version of her deceased friend Natalie, who was in the comics, as you can see here on the right. This is comic accurate.
That's dope.
Yeah. So she transferred the memories of her friend into the AI's personality,
which makes sense in 2025.
Well, the AI took on her friend's personality traits, or
she's loading up what she was dreaming about. Now, obviously, she's dreaming about memories of her friends, so that's why she got that profile.
But she also dreamed about memories of her, but she also dreamed about her death.
True. And then I think she probably took any info she can get from the internet, of her and all that,
And she talked to her mom. Her mom was fucking spilling the beans. I remember that she was on the couch having a whole sit down with her, with the AI like that.
Yeah, Riri's mom.
Yeah, Riri's mom.
And Riri was trying to hide Natalie from her mom, and then she also, would she say, she tethered her to her computer.
Yeah.
When she took the suit out, so then Natalie broke out and got on her mom's projector, so I just thought that kind of interaction was kind of cool, believe it or not. Like, it was one of the elements of the series. I was like, how are they going to pull this off? And the one thing I will say, all right, going back to me saying how it's kind of difficult for me to like these new Marvel characters, is like, like I said, then you not only do you gotta be introduced to the character, then you gotta meet all their family and friends and learn. It's so much new to learn, whereas like a lot of the X-Men, I already know them. I know their relationships. I know Spider-Man. I know his relationships. It's easier for me to jump into a new version of a Spider-Man or whatever and just know what it is, kind of. But like Ironheart, I didn't grow up reading that. So like for me to like this, I have to like Ironheart, right? And they have to make me like her. It's not that I don't like Riri Williams, but it's almost like you're already going to compare her to Tony Stark because of the name Ironheart and he's Iron Man, right? And then, so you have to like her as a character as much or almost as much as Robert Downey Jr. to like her, and they have her doing so much shit in these first 3 episodes that I didn't like her character for making them choices, whereas Robert Downey, like the first Iron Man, he went overseas, he found out his weapons were being used for bad purposes, and he had that change of heart almost immediately and decided, hey, I want to protect the world and not harm it no more. And with this, you see her like, well, fuck it. I'm popping bottles and kicking it with these motherfuckers after we just pulled off some crime heists, and I get her reasoning, But to compare her to Tony Stark, it becomes difficult then. Where I go, well, she's not as
But
funny.
they robbing CEOs and shit of tech companies and shit.
I
Like it's
I get
different.
that they're already corrupt people, right?
Yeah,
But you know, Tony Stark was one of them CEOs that was kind of corrupt and fucked up at one point, right? So I'm not saying giving them credit. What I'm saying is, regardless, like I had to watch almost 3 hours of her being, you know, a criminal, and I'm supposed to like her. Whereas Tony Stark, it was like the first 20 minutes of the movie, he was a piece of shit. And then he started to make that turnaround once he was attacked, you know, and then I got 3 hours of movies after that of him trying to be a hero. So for me to like her as a hero, I need to see her doing heroic shit. And hopefully by the end of the series, she does, you know, but right now she's just kind of like, you know, I don't know. She's like almost
Technically killed a man.
She's on the
Yeah.
fence. She's on
right.
the fence.
She did just kill a guy, you know, and
Well, he was trying to kill her, so she was really just protecting her fucking self.
People try to kill Batman all the time.
but that's like if I, you know, what I'm getting at is like, so we go out and we go to do some dirt together, and I got to kill somebody to get out of it. That doesn't. Well, I had to kill him to get out of it. That doesn't make me a good person. You know what I mean? She put herself in that situation. That
But it doesn't make you a bad one in my book, buddy. It doesn't make you a bad one.
That's why we're best friends. But I'm saying public perception wise, right? You know what I mean? And for the general fan base and the general audience to like Ironheart as much as I think Marvel wants them to, right now they're making it a little difficult them first 3 episodes. So I'm hoping she has a big turn, you know. But I am liking seeing, like I didn't like in Wakanda Forever, her automatically having a vibranium suit and all that. You know, it was almost instantaneous. You know, this is what we should have seen first, was her struggle, not having the money, trying to, you know what I mean? I wish this was her introduction as opposed to Wakanda Forever. It would have been a better character arc, where to see her go from heroic to this back to, it's kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but that wasn't her suit either. That was Wakandan. She might, you know, that was already Wakandan built.
Well, right, but she was fighting for the right cause in that kind of movie. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on the series. I'm just saying, you know.
I'm just saying though, bro. She went from classy, and they said, back to the ghetto you go. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? She went from Wakanda back to
classy to trashy. Yeah.
So, like, I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
understand what you're saying though too, but like I said,
this should have been her introduction and then worked her way up to the Wakanda Forever, but she probably just shouldn't have been in that movie, to be honest. Like, you know, I don't know. Yeah. So the first 3 episodes, if I'm gonna score them, I mean, is there anything else y'all want to talk about the first 3 episodes that before we
just the ending, just the fucking ending? I can't wait to see the next episode. Like, because the Hood, whoever he is, Mephisto or whoever, fuck it, he made a deal with her, control over, was letting them see, like, you know what I mean? She was the reason behind his homie, his cousin, basically dying, because that's his cousin. That's what he said. It's his cousin.
Yeah, Josh or whoever I think his name was.
Yeah, that was his cousin.
Yeah, he was pissed about that. Do you want to talk about
no,
Slug?
not at all. Not at all.
You don't want to talk about Slug?
Rodman.
No, bro. It's crazy, yo. Every movie, every series.
They gotta do it, right? You know. Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta do it, bro.
I don't know
because why couldn't he just been, I mean, unless they had this in a comic, or was she? You know what I mean?
was who?
Nothing. I'm not gonna say that. But yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right. So this is Hood, the Hood's little gang though. And most of them are what? So is only one of them dead now?
Yeah.
It's Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably gonna want their get back for that.
And them sisters are a trip, ain't they? Like one's
Yeah.
a full stud, the other one she cool, but like that's what I'm saying. They had a stud, like he could have been his regular, like they didn't have to make him have green hair and lipstick, bro. Because they was right. One of the sisters was representing for the LGBT.
So she does have a piece of his hood.
Yes, that she did.
And we know she wanted.
But she also messed up. She also messed up fighting Josh. Dropped a piece of what's his name, Obadiah's son's shit in there with her DNA all over that biotech skin that she dropped on the floor that she left in there.
Oh yeah.
That
was crazy too. What the fuck did that dude do to his arm, bro?
I don't know. He was trying to build a super.
Well, I used the local anesthetic.
That's what because that made no sense to me either. Like,
he's trying to build a Super Tugger 3000.
Yeah, so he could be like, my point is, like, why would you cut, like, because that was a nasty ass wound, bro. Like, he cut his shit wide open, bro.
Bro, he had like a Terminator arm in there. I'm like, what the fuck did this dude do to him? So I'm like, he really is a weirdo. Like, her mom was right. Like, keep this dude far away from you.
Yeah, that shit is crazy, bro. What is the purpose of that? Like, I guess we'll see.
I guess we will see, but I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this psycho? And she just sat there like,
never close with his dad. So
she sat there like, yeah, I'll patch it up for you. I'm like, I'd have been puking. Like, bro, your motherfucking flesh is cut open.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro.
But yeah, she got a piece of his hood, right? So we've seen her have like a magic user interface inside her helmet. You know, where it had like the Doctor Strange symbols in her helmet and shit, you know, where she was targeting shit. So I imagine she analyzes this piece of the hood and starts to use it in her tech, and then probably has to deal with the consequences of it. Same way the hood is.
Or even some of it just to be able to track it, because you know she can't see what she's doing, like an energy signal coming off the hood.
Yeah, maybe.
Stuff
I can't wait to learn more of his backstory, because the way he can bend bullets and fucking disappear and appear, how he appeared in the car with that old girl CEO, which I'd have got me some, you know what I'm saying? After she signed, but that's another story for another time. But yeah, how he bent that bullet around her, Riri, and shot that security dude. That shit was crazy. I was like, did he just bend the bullet around her? Because it was slow motion when he shot it.
Yeah, he bent the bullet right over her shoulder and shot that cop. Yeah, I was happy to see John Leguizamo come back, you know, and get a big role with Marvel. Y'all didn't catch that. Okay, I'm joking. But nah, I don't know who this actor is, but yeah, he's dope.
No, I know. Yours me. I definitely caught that, because I was like, wait a minute, that ain't John Leguizamo. Oh, that's totally different.
Leguizamo. But he reminded me of him, like some of his mannerisms and stuff. But he's a good ass.
Remember? Yeah, because remember he was in the Transformers movie, and then at the end of it, the GI Joes offered him a job because of that Transformer with
this guy.
Yes, he's in the Transformers movie. With the Beast, with the gorilla. You didn't watch the Transformers movie?
I did, but I don't remember it much.
Oh, okay, but yeah, well, go back and watch it, because he's definitely the main character in that movie. Like,
okay, yeah, he's great.
And at the end, it was so crazy. And at the end of it, the GI Joes come to him and offer him a job with them.
Yeah, I think I remember that. You know, because they've been talking.
Remember his little brother. his little brother was sick and they couldn't afford the medicine for real. And then after he helped save the world with the Transformers, they looked out for his they come to find out, like I said, at the end of the movie, they was like they knew about his abilities and shit like that, like what he was capable of. So that was the last
I don't remember the human stories ever in those movies. I just would like to watch the Transformers flip around and fight. That's about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, like I said, he was in.
I do remember Mark Wahlberg. He was in the one movie, and his daughter was they were trying to push some PDF stuff in that movie where they were like, well, it's a Romeo and Juliet act, and he pulled out a little card with the law on it why he could sleep with his underage daughter in that state. You don't remember that? That was crazy work.
Yeah, that was. But oh boy, Red, his name is Ramos Reyes or something. But he did a good job in that Transformers. Like I actually liked his character better than I like Mark Wahlberg's character in the Transformers. It's just my personal opinion. I like Shia LaBeouf the best, but yeah.
Well, I appreciate you giving me your Transformers review on this IronHeart review.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
Stay on topic. Stay on topic.
I did. I was just telling him. He just didn't know that dude was in that movie. He didn't.
So what would you score the first 3 episodes as a whole?
I would give it out of 1 out of 10. I give it about a 7. I give it a 7.
6.5.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I feel that's fair. The only thing that really like super piqued my interest in this episode was when the Hood finally says something about the curse he gave him, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, come on, bring on Mephisto, bro. If they bring Mephisto into this series, I'm all in. My score is gonna go up a number or 2, but right now with Slug and all that, yeah, with Slug
6.5 for Uncle.
That's 6.5.
Yeah, and what'd you score it, Max? 7?
7.
Yeah.
I guess that's 7.
Yeah, this ain't no Daredevil Born Again for me, but we'll see. It's not over yet, If they bring Mephisto in, I'm loving the whole Magic, the Hood thing. I'm liking that. I could care less for his little gang he's got, but I do want to see more of the Hood, or more of like what's behind.
Or is that going to bring in more of Doctor Strange, like universe motherfuckers, like what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm waiting to see that too, like what I'm saying, like because it's a part of that world.
Yeah, I think the mystic side of Marvel is you're just seeing like kind of like them plant the seeds of the mystic side of Marvel. I think the Hood's gonna tie in, because once we start to see them the magic symbols and all that stuff like that, like they want you to look at that and go, oh, that looks like some Doctor Strange shit. He's a master of the mystic arts, so something dark. There's some dark magic behind this stuff. Wanda, when she messed with the what was that dark book she had or whatever.
Wanda, yeah.
What was it called, Bird?
Darkhold?
Yeah, the Darkhold. Yeah, when Wanda messed with the Darkhold, like when you mess with that dark magic, like bad shit happens. So I kind of want to see, where the series goes, Ironheart, from here. Right now, the first 3 episodes, I just thought were a little slow. There was nothing too special about them. There was parts that I really started enjoying, and then there'd be like slow doll parts, and then there'd be parts I started enjoying again, and there'd be a couple parts where I was like, all right, just like get through this so I can, you know what I mean? Get to the parts of the story I enjoy a little bit more. But I'm giving it a 6 for now. I wanted to give it a 7 because I always feel like 7's fair, but there were some Born Again episodes I gave a 7 that this I feel it hasn't hit the levels of Born Again yet. And I don't expect it to. I'm not comparing it to Daredevil. I just mean like my enjoyment level, you know, of the series.
Yeah, it just mediocre.
Yeah, it was good enough. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't necessarily walk away from it being like, "Oh my god, y'all gotta watch this."
They could have left Obadiah's son stepping in dog shit out of there, and
yeah, there was a lot.
Like, what was the purpose? What was the purpose of that whole scene? And then into the next episode, it didn't you didn't see that the bitch's dog or her dog.
It was supposedly showing how Riri taught him to stand up for himself.
Yeah, I got all that, but they still should have
I got that when he blackmailed her. I understood that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see him step in dog shit.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, we did not need to see that. Like, and then he just stepped in the grass. He ain't even rinse it off or nothing. He just walked back into the crib with dog shit on his shoe. Bro.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. I'm like, man,
he's a nasty son of a bitch.
I'm like, they got white people looking crazy on this series. I'm like, they always do that too. They got us looking hella weird.
Oh, they got us looking crazy too. Because oh boy, that is fucking crazy. Like from the hood, like that's unnecessary, bro. The way he was walking and talking, like that's too much.
Who are you talking about? The hood, the character of the hood?
No, not the hood. The hacker.
That's Robin.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman. I'm talking about. I'm talking about people looking bad in series.
Dennis Rodman. That's hilarious.
That's perfect.
Look at him.
Oh my god.
That is perfect, Bird. That is true.
He said Dennis Rodman.
Because it didn't make sense because, like I said, the one girl you could tell that's a stud. That's a Manny Fresh thing. No, you went back too far. Where was that? Standing in the group, bro.
This is at the beginning. That's hilarious, though. I don't know. Who knows? It's on one of these slides somewhere. There you go. Dennis Rodman.
Right there. That's a perfect example. Like,
oh my god, bro. That is hilarious. I've been wondering where Dennis been all these years.
All right, bro. All right.
He ain't been on screen since that Jackie Chan movie or whatever he did, right? Was it Jackie Chan or was it John Claude?
It was John Claude. Yeah, it was
John Claude. Yeah. It's good to see Dennis back on the big screen.
That's wild because that ain't even Dennis. That's so messed up.
Wait. You said it was Dennis.
No, your uncle said it was Dennis. I just agreed with him and said that was a great comparison.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, so you agree with him, but not me.
Well, he said it. He said that was Dennis Rodman. I'm like, that is a perfect person for that. But even Dennis Rodman wasn't like.
Bird, you scored a 6.5.
You were dressing literally one time, wedding dress, but man.
I think so. That's hilarious. Mac. You
definitely wasn't good enough for a 7.
And she says, agree with us, you know.
Y'all look like psychopaths, by the way.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, there's.
I think we scored that overall probably a 6.5. If Matt gave it a 7, I gave it a 6. You gave it a 6.5. We meet in the middle. It would be about a 6.5 overall. So I can't highly recommend it, but if you're just looking for something new to watch, check it out.
Check it out.
Might get a little better. We'll see. I'm actually really looking forward to that Toxic Avenger we showed off earlier.
That's Superman too. Superman, you're kind of psyched for it.
Facts. Well, we lost Mac, but that's the end of the stream. We are hour and 25 in. Appreciate everybody who hopped in the chat. Penny K. G. Oh, he's back. There you go. Okay.
Back on the tag.
Yeah, I was just closing out the show. So appreciate everybody coming by, checking out the show, dropping in the live chat, hollering at us. NEK for the 5 memberships. We really appreciate that because that just brings new people into the channel and gets them to check out our content. We will be back next week for the next 3 episodes, episode 4, 5, and 6, to review those. And then we're going to Superman to review that. And then we're going to review Fantastic Four First Steps right after that. So we got a bunch of content lined up for y'all on Yo
Heroes.